I think it's fair to say that since Declan Rice departed the club in the summer, there's a vacant spot within this team for someone that the fans can really relate to. Don't get me wrong, it's a great group, this team, isn't it? There's something about this squad now that's a real togetherness. But once Rice departed, let's be honest, it hurt. It really did hurt seeing him, an academy player depart. He was the sort of figurehead of West Ham, the captain, etc. You do feel that there's that kind of spot now for someone to come in and say, look, I'm going to take the club forward. I'm going to commit my future. And I do get the feeling that, I'm not saying it's a feeling. I think that's how fans feel. And I certainly feel that way, that Jarrod Bowen is that kind of perfect fit for that. For someone that's, knocking on the door for the England squad, highly rated, in great form. And let's be honest, really connects well with the fans. There's so much to admire about Jarrod Bowen. And the fact is, we are trying now to retain him for the long term, and I'm quietly confident something will happen, but obviously something hasn't happened just yet. Actually, before I go into this, I just want to say that the vast majority of you watching this aren't a subscriber. So now look, all you need to do is click subscribe. It's free to do so, and then you enter as well into our competition to win a West Ham top, and it's home, away, or third kit, and we're doing it every month for the whole season. So it's free to enter. All you need to do is subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed already, just click on the button now, and that'll be fantastic. And also, it supports the channel, which we really appreciate. I've got to say, I love this squad of players. I really do. There's something about it, real togetherness, a real united bond about them. And I'm not trying to go jump on the bandwagon and go, well, that's because Declan's left. I think it might have a bit of a factor towards it. I do feel like, I think some of the players are quite hurt by the fact Declan left in the end. I really do. I think, we heard about the fact that they wanted to try and convince him to stay, etc., etc. But I don't want to talk about Declan Rice. I want to talk about Jarrod Bowen. Now, of course, he's been linked with an exit. He's been talked about Liverpool's interest in Bowen. That's been pretty much since we signed him. That Liverpool have a real keen interest in Jarrod Bowen. And now with the sort of impending departure of Mo Salah, which I think is going to either happen in January or the end of the season. I'm guessing the end of the season. Bowen sort of seems to be earmarked amongst the press as being the player that they would like to bring in. And you kind of get it. They fit the same. They play the same position. And Bowen's, he's exceptionally good, isn't he? And he just seems to be getting better. I mean, the way he started this season has been quite phenomenal, really. So I understand it. But this is just my personal point of view. I don't really buy into Bowen wanting to go to Liverpool. I just don't. I'm not necessarily saying that he wouldn't have any interest in going anywhere apart from being at West Ham. I'm not saying that, but I just think at this time, I think you get the feeling that he's happy, he's enjoying his football. West Ham are doing well, this season. We started the season really strongly. He's just won a trophy with the club. I just don't get the feeling that he's someone that's going to be pushing for a move. I just don't get it. And I know people will say it's irrelevant, his home situation, but I don't think it is irrelevant. I think the fact he's basically, he's all but married into now a huge West Ham family, lives in the area, he's got children. I don't see that as someone that's be eager to go away and move up north and move. I just don't see it. I'm sorry, I just don't. But that's not to say there's no real interest, and that's not to say that nothing would ever happen at all, but it's just my feeling on it. And Bowen's comments, I've got to say, have been quite something, actually, in the press. And the fact he said this while contract talks are going on really leans me to get that feeling now that I think something could happen there. I really do. I'm quietly confident that Bowen will commit his future to the club. I think they'll come to an arrangement at some stage. The club know how important he is. The manager knows how important he is. And I think Bowen loves West Ham. I really do. I'm just going to read you what he said about, and this has come from the Evening Standard. So if you haven't seen it, you can see it in a bit more detail in there. But I'm just going to read you what the bits I've picked up from it. He said, West Ham, he was basically referring to the cup success and how big the club is, etc., etc. So what he said, he went, the fans are everywhere. Where I live, everyone is a West Ham fan, no Tottenham fans. Or maybe they are, but they never want to tell me they're a Tottenham fan. I didn't realise how big the club was until when I first came. But now I'm starting to become one of them. I'm starting to get a feel for it and go, right, this is a massive club. Now, I mean, you couldn't put it any better. I mean, that is exactly the sort of words we want to hear from Bowen, especially when this is going on. I can't see Jarrod Bowen saying comments like that and in the back of his mind thinking, but I'm soon to depart. I just can't see it. He doesn't come across that kind of player that would do that. And I just don't think many people would. Why would you do it? Why would you come out and declare your love for the club and say, I'm basically like a West Ham fan now? And in the back of your mind thinking, yeah, but by the way, next summer I'm off. I just don't see it. I think it's exactly what West Ham fans wanted to hear and what needed to hear. I mean, I was absolutely delighted when I saw it. Hence why this video, we're going to do something else, talk about another subject, but we'll put that off now to another day, which is about Tim Steidten, actually, which is very, very interesting and exciting. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, I'm honestly really, really pleased with Jarrod Bowen for saying that. I just think it shows someone that clearly has a passion for the football club, and someone I just don't think has any desire to want to move on. He seems happy. And that's not, I'm not just saying that in just his words as well, but he just seems happy in his football. I mean, he's the first name on the team sheet, let's be honest, every week. He's playing under a manager that plays a system that really suits Bowen, the counter-attack style. I look at Bowen and see a guy that is settled and happy. And the fact is now we've got these contract talks going on and we're all waiting to hear the positive news. I don't know, I just get a good feeling about it now. That has really lifted my confidence levels. I mean, I was always kind of on the 75-80% feeling that he'd sign a deal, but there's also that doubt, isn't there? But this really pushes it into the 90s now. I'm sort of 90-95% sure. I can't see him saying comments like that and then not committing his future. West Ham just have to get the deal done, though. I mean, it is painful to think that. I mean, because this is what we know so far is that basically Bowen, and rightly so, his representatives are saying, well, Jarrod should be one of the top earners at West Ham. He is one of their main players. He's knocking on the door for England again. He's highly sought after, as we talked about with Liverpool, etc., etc. He should be regarded as one of the hot top earners. Considering the fact that you've got like Danny Ings that's earning way more, you've got to look at things like that. I mean, look, I'm not knocking the club. We don't know really what's going on in terms of how the talks are progressing. You'd like to think that West Ham aren't going to be silly here and start lowballing a player like Bowen and risk losing him. I don't think they will, and I'm pretty confident, to be honest, now that a deal will be done. I really am. I'll be very surprised if nothing comes to fruition now. And I've got to say, look, final thoughts on it. I absolutely love this. This is exactly what I wanted to hear today. I'm absolutely buzzing, as you can probably tell. And I had to do it. I had to do this video. I came home and I just thought, do you know what? This is all I wanted to talk about. It's just Jarrod Bowen at the moment. I'm thrilled for him. He's had such a good start to the season as well, hasn't he? 4 goals, 1 assist in opening 6 games. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And I just think it's going to go on. And also as well in his statement, which I quite liked, just to finish this off, was that he's talking about his aspirations for the season. So he was saying, I'm always looking at double figures now for goals and assists. He went, so it's 20 to 30 goal involvements a season. That's what he's aiming for. I mean, that is top quality football. I mean, that is exactly what we want from him. And I love the fact he's such an ambitious player. He's vital for us, Bowen. And yes, we've had a bit of a painful summer in some regards, but let's be honest, in some regards, but in terms of who we've brought in and how we've managed that, it's been amazing. And this, if we can get Bowen to sign a new deal, wow, I mean, that really would be something.